Welcome to Panfish Nation. My name's Mark, co-host of the great Lyle Stokes. Make
Hey,
sure you
buddy.
vote for him for president, icon, all of that good stuff. Take care of our buddy. He's been entertaining you guys for a hell of a long time, and I think he deserves it. Now I said my piece. Other than that, welcome to the show, everybody.
Absolutely.
Look at this. Mark, nobody likes a liar. I think he had this comment to this one here. Look at that. It says, Josh, I like to travel fish when I can.
Yeah, I got you,
As long
man.
as long as I like the numbers of the zip code, Josh, plain and simple.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
And gas ain't too high.
Well, gas is high. It ain't coming down anytime soon.
I don't think so either. Hey, Alyssa,
Nah,
how are you?
it is what it is. So, Lyle, cooler
Sir.
weather is here.
Oh, man. 43 degrees this morning.
Yeah, it was 47 when actually, we'll talk about it, but I launched a little later. It was like 48 degrees here. And it's only October 8th, too.
That's right. That's right. It's going to warm back up, though. We're going to have some more warm days and cool days and all that. But, 43 degrees. I actually put a pair of sweatpants on this morning and flannel shirt.
Trying to impress the ladies, huh?
No, just I was trying to impress the fish, and it didn't really work out all that well.
We'll talk about that, definitely.
I wanted to talk about that a little bit, Mark. Realistically, I've been catching quite a few crappie without very much difficulty. I've been getting them plastics from Leslie Bacon at Little Miss Bacon Baits, and I've been killing them. I think I have. I mean, I'm not trying to say that I've been catching the world out of crappie, but I've been catching quite a few crappie and anywhere from 15 and 20 to that one day I caught 118. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then today I go out there and about the third cast, I got one on and I go to lift it out of the water and the damn thing come off the jig and I lost it. And 2.5 hours later, I ain't put a fish on there. And I'm thinking, holy crap. This is crazy. I ought to be home. And I got to thinking about some stuff. And a couple of years ago, you sent me a couple of jars of Gulp Lite. And I give them a try and give them a try and give them a try. And I'm not sure if I even caught a fish on it, but I may have caught one or two. And you was so adamant about how good they work that I actually bought some more of them, thinking that, they got to work. I'm just not doing something right or the wrong time or whatever. And I walked up to the back of the truck and pulled out one of them jars that I had in another bag, and I took it down there. The third cast, I got a crappie. I ain't had a bite in 2 hours. About 3 or 4 casts later, I got another crappie. I moved to the brush pile, 8-inch bluegill, and then I get a trash fish. But that was it. That's all. That was it for that period of time. But the moral of the story is, I guess, don't ever give up. Try stuff. I mean, for 2 hours, I'm trying every color and imaginable. And Leslie sent me a whole bunch of different styles of baits and things. I used hand ties. It didn't matter what I done; they just wasn't hitting them. And then that Gulp Live, I don't know if it's the scent on it, the feel of it, the size of it. I don't really know, but I finally caught some fish. And I was pretty happy about it. So
I think it's a combination of all of it. I think it's definitely the shape of it and the size of it and the scent of it, all of that good stuff. You really want to put the turbocharger on that thing. Put it on a small, like 80th ounce jig head or 64th ounce jig head. I'll send you some this fall or later this fall in gold color. For some reason, it's
gold's been working really well.
Yeah, that's the ticket. Gold, hammered gold when the weather starts getting cold, as far as the jig head goes, works really well. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to complain, but it works.
Hey, if it's working, we don't care. But, I just thought that was an interesting story because they've been easy. The fish have really been easy for me. And then today they was not easy. And I wasn't going to stop until I put fish on. It's going to catch them one way or the other. And again, another thing that has not worked for me is crappie bites, crappie nibbles. That they don't. I have very, very little, if any, success on those at all, and it must be something I'm doing because, like I say, those Gulp Alive, they work today, and hell, they're a year old. The jar hadn't been opened, but they're old, and God damn, them things stink. Holy crap, dude. You get that on your hands, you can't get it off. And you just, oh man, they're awful. But if they catch fish, who cares?
A lot of times I'll use those and I'll use worms at the same time. There's nothing worse smelling than that Berkley Gulp juice and worm dirt. Mix that stuff together. Oh my goodness. I literally have, those little plastic lemon squeeze bottles for like drinks and stuff.
Right.
I keep one of them in the fridge, just a little one, and I put like 4 or 5 drops of lemon juice in my hands when I get home just to get that stink off of them.
Oh,
I'll wash my hands with dishwashing liquid, and then I'll just kind of rub that lemon juice in there. And if you got cuts, it burns, but it gets the smell out. So.
Hey, if it doesn't matter if it get rid of that smell. I see Eric Burnside joined us in here. I wanted to mention too, while I see he's on here, they have a panfish tournament coming up this Saturday. For anybody that's interested in that, contact him and he'll get you on the list. I'm on the border of trying to decide if I want to fish or not, and if I do, where I want to go. I've got a couple of spots that usually produce fish, and I'm thinking about it. So crappie fireballs are the way to go. Shad scented, can't go wrong. That makes sense to me.
Try anything, get it to work. I like that smelly jelly. I haven't been using it much this year, and I've been still catching fish. So, those crappie nibbles, they work if you put them on like a jig that's already got plastic or a hand tie on there. They definitely help. It's scent, and I told you my whole theory of how, if you think you got a bite and you bring it back in and the crappie bite's still there, you got snagged on a weed. If it's gone, you missed the fish. So that's
right. You and I talked about something. I messaged you earlier this last week about a guy that was telling me about these jigs that had holes in the head to mash those crappie nibbles into the jig head itself. And I hadn't really heard of them or seen them or anything. And he said he got his at Bass Pro. That guy was back today, and he basically uses Gulp Alive probably 75 to 90% of the time. And he was on a brush pile on the other side of the lake, and he was killing them. He just knocking them out. So
those jig heads with the hole in them to push the crappie nibble in there, those are made by Trout Magnet, I believe.
Could be. I don't know.
Do they work? I don't know. I know you had mentioned you were thinking about drilling out a couple yourself, but you got to remember that hook shank's in there, so you got to be careful not to get through the hook shank. So
I didn't pay attention to how his was made, but it's something to think about. Especially if it's a day where they're real finicky and they're not biting. Try some stuff. Don't ever give up. If you need to make up your mind before you leave, you're gonna catch fish. That's just all there is to it.
Worst comes to worst, move. I mean, you got to do it. I'm fortunate enough to have a boat to fish, and I can move. Today was I did go fishing today.
I'm sorry, Josh.
So speaking of things with holes in their head, anyone seen Jerry Parker tonight?
Oh man!
Before we get into any more, what do you say? I say hello to everybody.
Let's do it, man.
All right, we got Benoit Fishing Outdoors. Hello, ladies. How you doing? There's a great Cindy Stokes. How you doing, Miss Cindy? Creole Catfishing. How you doing, Jeremy? Make sure you contact Jeremy if you're going to be down in Louisiana. You're looking for a catfish guide. He'll take good care of you. I've seen some pictures of him going out with Ryan Bortz and another gentleman. Forgive me for forgetting his name, Creole, but it looks like they did really good. I know they got a 40-something pounder and a 50-something pounder in a boat bumping. It looked like a good time. One of these days I'm going to get down there. Eric B in the house. Eric B is having the Panfish tournament. Go over to Eric B's channel. If somebody could post it. Chrissy, how you doing? If you could post Eric's link for the tournament. You guys can go over there and set your reminder. There's Elsa in the house. Kenny Wine. I'm sorry, forgive me for that. Greg Burgess says that it didn't reach 90 today, and he was grateful for that. He lives down in Louisiana. Good to see you, Greg. There's Joe Buck 66. He's a channel supporter. Thank you for supporting the channel for so long, Joe. We appreciate it. There's Lisa Swain, Catfish Lady. How you doing? Lisa had refurnished her grandfather's, I don't know if you'd call it a cuckoo clock, but it's a really nice clock that she posted on Facebook. She's sending me pictures too. She did a good job. So way to go preserving your heritage there, Lisa. That's cool to see that kind of stuff. There's Nubby's Catfishing. How you doing, Nubby? You guys go over there and check out Nubby as well. Give him a link. I think he's trying to get monetized. So why don't you guys go and check out Nubby? He does a lot of cool fishing stuff. Jeremy Colvin Fishing. What's up, Jeremy? Jeremy, the jigs you sent me a long time ago to glow in the dark ones, I think they were from you. I think they might have been. I caught a mess of crappie on them 2 weeks ago. Thank you again for sending me those. P&B Catfishing, Paul Boyd. How you doing, Paul? There's Rowdy Royal in the house. What's up, Rowdy? Schmieder of the Cedars, one of my favorite names. There's Solo Texan Adventures. How you doing, Solo? Crappie Kid in the house. Good to see you again this week. There's my buddy Josh over at the Weekend Angler. How you doing, Josh? Hopefully his boat project's going great. Uptown Chrissy Brown. How you doing, Chrissy? And there's Jeff Beal, who says he's going to try and get out fishing this weekend. I also see that Butterflies and Sunshine did come in. What's going on, Linda? How you doing? Let me scroll through this list one more time. I think I got everybody who's showing their face in chat. I appreciate y'all. We got a full house today, Lyle. We got 38 people watching. That's pretty cool.
Awesome. I'm glad to see everybody in here. And, it's the water temperature's dropping. The fish will be moving up shallow. Of course, as soon as it drops too bad, then they'll move back out to deeper water. But while they're up shallow is the time to get them.
Yes, they are. And they're moving shallower the colder it gets. At least the panfish are, that's for sure. Lyle, you had mentioned that you fished today for 2 hours without any luck, right? It was horrible.
Yeah.
That was me last week. When I said I got the crap kicked out of me, that was 6 hours of that nothing bite last week. It was horrible. Got one little 3-inch panfish.
It just when you're catching them every day, and then all of a sudden they're gone or they're not biting. They're not gone; they're still there. But I was getting discouraged.
Here's a little story. I'm talking to my wife on the way home from fishing today, and we'll get into what happened today fishing. Hey, what's going on, Ernest? River Rat 3030. How you doing?
Hey, Ernest.
She says, "You seem like you're in a good mood. You must have caught fish."
No kidding.
I got a kick out of that because she's right. 100% she's right.
Yeah.
So I went out to I don't know if anybody has seen this on the internet or on TV, but there's a lake here right over. Hey, John Parker, how you doing? There's a lake right here, right over the border into Wisconsin, called Lake Geneva. And on TV, it's kind of a famous lake. A couple years back, they had an ice. Here's a little history. They had an ice castle festival. They have it on the ice every year, Lyle. This is going to make you want to go ice fishing, right?
No.
Yes, and they always park cars out on the ice, right? Well, one year, the cars went right through the ice. Like 15 cars went into there.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. I am never taking my vehicle on the ice.
You might have seen that, or you might have seen where the kids, all the houses on the lake get their mail delivered by boat. And the way they do that is they have kids from the local community college that do this during the summer. They get on this big boat, which is a tour boat, and they run off the boat onto the docks, run down the dock, put the mail in the mailbox, and they got to run back before the boat passes them up and get back on the boat. And a lot of them fall in the water. It happens all the time. Actually, I saw that happen today. So that's Lake Geneva. I went there and fished today and did pretty good. I kind of, first time I fished that lake, I talked to a couple locals and stuff, and they didn't necessarily point me in the right direction, but they told me where they were catching fish when it was hotter. The water's cooled off like 10 degrees down to like 64, I think the water temp was. Which makes sense where I found fish. I looked around for about 2 hours, found a a bunch of fish, had a good time, caught a whole mess of fish. I couldn't tell you how many it was, to be honest with you. I know I have the counter. I don't remember what I put on Facebook or whatever, but had a good time. Caught some really, really, really big pumpkin seeds, Lyle, and I caught some really, really big rock bass. Like the biggest rock bass I've ever seen in my life, like 12-inch rock bass. They were big. They were big. And I know we got some pictures to share too from you and I. Let me get this loaded up here real quick.
Also, I do not recommend bait casters for pan fishing. I would go with a spinning reel if you can operate them, and if not, get you a push button of some kind, a really quality one. Bait casters are just light line, and them does not real light line. Well, I use 4-pound tests all the time, so they don't work out quite as well.
Bait casters are anything half ounce and greater in bait size. They just won't cast. There's some 12 and 13 foot crappie rods that use like a bait caster on there, but they're not made for casting. They're just made there to hold line. So if you see people on YouTube catching them using a bait caster, pay attention. They're not casting it. They're pretty much
it basically.
Yeah, they're stripping line off of there and just flipping the baits into the water. So
that's a hand tie I caught that crappie on.
That's a hand tie. What are those called again, Lyle, when you tie them like that? There's a name for those. Okay, fish catcher. But look at that. You got the disco gold. That's one of my jig heads, ain't it?
No, that's one I done.
All right. There's another fish that Lyle caught. Look at that. The yellow and white on a blue one.
Yep. That's some stuff.
There's Lyle's mess of fish. Is that from today?
No. That was from a different day.
They look like they probably tasted pretty good regardless. See what else we got here. Look at this. There's a bass for you, Lyle. I caught that one just for you. I named it Little Lyle when I released it.
You did. Hey,
and then we got
made it in.
Look at the size of them little perch I was catching. I must have caught like 20 of those.
That's tiny.
They were tiny. I'd have given $100 to catch a mess of big ones, but no, that wasn't happening. But that'll
dirt on your fingers.
I know, it was all over. It was messy. It was a messy day. I was using a drop shot today all day. Caught a pike this size, and I got a real big one up to the side of the boat that I'd have kept. It was well over 30 inches, but it broke me off before I could get the net under him. I was going to pickle that sucker. Let's see what else we got here. There's the bluegill, one of the bluegills. That's not even that bad a size one, but it's pretty small compared to these pumpkin seeds that I caught. Yeah, they were giant. So these are that picture is deceiving. They were big, they were nasty, they were fun to catch. There's more than pumpkin seeds. I caught about 12 of those. I put 6, I put 6 in my live well to take home, right, to eat for dinner. Right. Not today, but for tomorrow. And I was looking at them in my live well. They're such pretty fish. I couldn't bear to take them home, so I ended up letting them. I'm a sucker when it comes to that. But look at the size of them and look how pretty. That picture doesn't do it any justice too. So yeah, I had a good day. There's another one of those rock bass. So yeah, that's pretty much. Yes, they'd have made great bait, but they were fighting pretty hard. I had a good time today. I kind of needed that. It's
rock bass are really fun to catch. They really are. I enjoy them.
Let's see what Josh has to say. He says, Jerry, Mark and Lyle were talking about holes in the head and cuckoos, and I asked if anyone had seen you tonight. Picking on Jerry. We all pick on Jerry because we like him.
That's right.
He's a heck of a sport too.
Yes, he is. Great fisherman.
So yeah, I had a good day. It took me like 2 hours to find the fish. That lake was really weird, like I was telling you. Well, not weird. It's different than what I'm used to. The lake is like 120 feet deep in the middle, and you go 30 feet away from the bank, and it drops from 4 feet to 70 feet. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I need to do a little looking into what it is, but it seems like maybe at some time it was a quarry or that. I don't know, but it was a heck of a lot of fun, and I did perfect my drop shot today, I think. Now, here's something that I learned today that maybe we can share with everybody watching. I went out, I went to Walmart earlier this week, your favorite place, and I'm like, well, I need some hooks for drop shotting, and I'm tired of worms slipping off of the Aberdeen hooks that I use, right? Because they got no little barbs on them.
Right.
So I bought some Baitkeeper, Eagle Claw Baitkeeper hooks in a size 6 and a size 4. I tried the 6 because that lake's got a lot of big walleye in it. I figured, well, if I come across a walleye, I can do that. If I come across the size of bluegill that I want, that they should be able to take that hook. And boy, was I wrong. I ended up retying down to that size 6. Started with the 4, went down to a 6, and that still wasn't working. And I finally went back to my old trustworthy Eagle Claw Pro V hooks in a size 4. So they're kind of small. They're Aberdeen hooks with a V in them, and they worked really well. I really got on the fish after I did that. So you just got to make sure that you adapt and overcome. Also, my live scope was not working, Lyle, so I got to fix that. Hopefully it doesn't cost any money to fix.
Alyssa, if I don't know the last name and know how to pronounce it, I try not to make a mistake on them.
Kinneywan. Hopefully that's right. Forgive me. I have the worst last name in the world to pronounce, so I get them. Don't I, Lyle?
Yes, you do. It might not be the worst, but it's got to be in the top 3 or 4.
That's pretty bad. Pretty bad. I have no vowels in my last name. What's up, Buggy? How you doing? Let's see. Benoit says, caught a couple nice striped bass. Gonna use them for flatty bait. There you go. White bass and straight bass make great flathead bait. They kick for a long time, and they're pretty aggressive if you can keep them off the bottom.
It still amazes me that you can use stuff like that in one state and you can't in the next.
It is what it is.
It is, but they could make that universal across the country.
Look at that, Lyle. I got the seal of approval. It's Kenny Wan.
There you go. There you go. You was talking about drop shot, Mark. iFish. I know you're familiar with his videos and stuff. He has a video out where you make drop shot rigs out of jig hooks. And I'm telling you, that is the way to set them up if you want them sticking straight out from your line. That's the best thing I've seen.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting to see the way he sets it up. You know, iFish, he's from around the area. I know he's moved down to Tennessee. So I've seen him on the river and stuff. And the guy's he's extremely proficient in finesse fishing for panfish and crappie and stuff. So good videos. Check out iFish on YouTube, and you'll learn a heck of a lot. He really goes into detail. So if you don't have the stomach to sit there and be explained things thoroughly, you're not going to like it. But if you like to know the ins and outs of everything, you're going to be good. Mark Barnum, what's going on, Mark Barnum? How you doing? I think there he is.
And he catches a lot of fish.
He does. Mark says, got a 10-pound blue on a black salty today. First time I ever used them. What is a black salty, Lyle?
It's like a aquarium fish.
What's up, Jody? How you doing?
Glad to see you made it in tonight.
So that was my fishing day today. I had a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to get out there on that lake again. Only problem with that lake is during the summer, it's extremely busy no matter what day you go out there. So colder weather probably be a lot better.
Funny man, Jerry Parker. Funny man. I like to set up a double drop shot rig with jigs for crappie. Depending on where you're at, I wouldn't put it in a brush pile and take a chance on losing them 2 at a time. But if you're on a drop off or up in the shallows when they're up there feeding on minnows and stuff, that's a great choice.
Ernest says black salty is amazing bait.
They work really well sometimes.
Mark says it's a hybrid of a goldfish. Good to know.
Yep.
You know, speaking of goldfish for bait, I was going down, fish the Rock River. I forget what town it was in. It was a long time ago. And the bait shop, and I know it's not open anymore, so it doesn't matter if I remember the name or not, had vending machines had vending machines out in front. And in those vending machines, they sold goldfish for bait.
Yep.
Weirdest thing I saw. We bought a bunch of them. We didn't catch nothing that day. So
some days they work good, some days they don't. Just, it depends on where you're at and time of year and all, and how hungry they are, basically. It's really hard. And I know everybody uses stuff from chicken and hot dogs to goldfish and everything in between, but it's just hard to beat what's in the water that they're used to eating. It really is.
Speaking of that, Lyle, I did something without you the other night.
You bought something without me.
I did. I bought some baits from 6 cents that were pretty cool. I'll let you know how they what they're like when I get them. I'll send you some pictures and stuff, and I'll give you guys a report, but they look really good. And I bought another one from First Standard Fishing, some cool crappie plastics from them too. So Jody, I agree with you.
Oh man, that's too funny.
I forget all sorts of things these days. I'm not afraid to admit it. And I'm going to use the I forgot card any chance I can. So
yeah, it'll save your bacon sometimes.
Benoit really Fishing Outdoors. Goldfish are a good flathead and bowfin bait. We use goldfish often. Cool. Now, I mean, when them goldfish get released, they get pretty big too. I know a lot of kids have caught them around here.
I know where there's a pond not too terribly well, it's outside of Bowling Green that is in the middle of a field. It's got woods around it. It's kind of been a draw, and we used to go in there when I was a kid and fish, and it's got giant ones in it. Now, this was back in the 70s. It had giant ones in it then. So if the pond hadn't filled in, there ought to be just numbers of great big ones. Hey, Eric.
Hey, what's up, Eric?
It has been a while. Glad to see you made it in.
So let's talk about the topic of the day, travel fishing this fall. Now, the reason why I kind of thought it might be a good thing to have a show, Josh, is because I'm trying to plan a trip here at the end of the month, probably maybe first week in November, last week in October. We'll see if things pan out. And I think I kind of got a good idea of the best way to go about doing so. So I thought maybe I'd share that with you and get your input and maybe the input of people in chat on what they thought of it. So this is what I did. I kind of been wanting to get on a hot perch bite. Like you saw the little one I caught today, and I said I'd give $100 to get on a mess of like big ones. That would be really cool to do. And I know that they do really. Hey, Mason, what's going on? They do really well on the Mississippi for perch. So I started doing some research, watched a couple of shows, and I started thinking, how can I find a place to go? Because, you can always go to the DNR website of the state you want to fish at, and you can go from there. But I kind of figured that I might have hacked the system here, Lyle. I went on YouTube and I just put in a search term for perch. I put fall perch fishing, right? And I went from there. I figured I wanted to fish for them up on the Mississippi, so I revised my search for fall perch fishing on the Mississippi. And man, there was a lot of videos out there. And if you guys don't know this, here's another kind of clue. Most of the YouTubers out there that do really, really big content, like Larry Smith Outdoors, I think is the one guy I watch a lot. A couple of other ones. He's a guide and he fishes with guides. And the way they get on fish week after week is they have a network of guides. Now I'm giving away, industry secrets here. They have a network of guides. They all talk, they get in group chats and stuff, and they find out where the hot bite is. And that's where they pick where they're going to fish for the week. Okay. 100%. So I'm watching some of Larry's videos, and I see that he fishes with a guide up on Pool 8 on the Mississippi. And I'm like, okay, when? They start talking about the water temps, this and that. So I hit Google Maps. I hit up, I was trying to find boat ramps. So the the U.S. Coast Guard has maps out there, and they show where everything's at, the depth charts, all of this stuff. And when I was on Google Maps, I found a resort that was on there. I clicked on the resort. I did a little bit of research. Looks like a good place. It's fairly cheap. I knew where I wanted to fish. I knew when I wanted to fish. I just had to make plans to fish. So that's how I did it real quick. Mason says, me and Dad are going to the river after school and go fishing for a while, and we're going to try your live well, Papa. There you go.
Good deal. Hope you catch a bunch. Mike Irwin has joined us.
What's going on, Mike? So what do you think about finding places to fish that way, Lyle? Do you think that's cheating, or do you think that's using the old noggin?
I think it's using your resources that you have to use, is what I think.
I was surprised at the amount of information I found on picking a place to fish, because I've been struggling with that as of late, trying to find local places around here to fish. They're just not there. Like, I went and fished that Rock Cut State Park. I did some searches on Rock Cut State Park, and all it did was confirm my beliefs that that's a bad place to fish. It's a tough, high pressured place unless you're a bass fisherman. It's pretty rough, but I gave it a shot anyways. I'm like dying to figure that lake out. What do you do when you're looking to go someplace to fish, Lyle, if you want to travel?
If I want to travel, you're talking about going into some place you've never been before. Navionics and Google Maps. They're your friends. If you got any buddies down there that you think will give you quality information, that's always a good resource. But fishing tournaments and stuff for all them years, the easiest thing for me was to get out there and spend at least 2 days of nothing but looking for fish. I mean, that's what you got to find them. If you can't find them, you can't catch them. And you have to trust your electronics. If you don't trust your electronic, what's the sense of having it? And it doesn't matter what kind it is, or whether it's live scope or dead scope or whatever. You know what I mean?
Side imaging, down imaging, 2D sonar.
If you don't trust it, it doesn't do you any good to use it. So my friend was always side imaging, especially looking for bait. I really like that. 2D sonar works really well. I'm not up to speed on the live scope. I just can't justify, but any kind of resource that you can get before you make a big trip and spend a bunch of money is the best thing you can possibly do. If you know somebody, if you got Google Maps, if you got Navionics, which is now Garmin, I guess, but whatever source that you can get, and use them maps to figure out where you're going. I would spend night after night after night in them maps trying to figure out the spot I would go to and Google Earth, and I would pull up wing dikes, and there's a few things on wing dikes that I always look for. That doesn't mean there's always fish on them, because you have 3 wing dikes exactly in a row on a river, and none of them may hold bait of fish. One of them might, the other 2 might not, or 2 of them might and the other one won't. But you have to go in and find that stuff. Pinch points are always good. Switches, and where the river switches from one side to the other. There's just so many things, and anytime that you can pull up Google Earth and you can find down trees and stuff, wood is your friend. I mean, it really is. Rock piles, stuff like that you can find anything that you think will, and then make you a list. Another thing, Mark, that we used to do all the time is make a list of stuff to take with you so you get there and you didn't forget something. Because invariably you will.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to – I know when we go fish Mendota, we're in the middle of Madison. It's easy to get anything. But a lot of the really good places to fish, there's really not many places nearby. Or who wants to waste their time going to Walmart or Dollar General to get some, I don't know, some nasal decongestants if you need them. You know what I mean? Have your first aid kit.
Have everything with you, I have a black bag that I put all my medicine and stuff in, and it went on every trip with us. I know the worst thing that happened one year. We went to Monsters on the Ohio, and I got down there, and the Moon Eye was running. I didn't take no bait rods. Took everything but bait rods. So I had to buy a couple bait rods. I mean, if you got that stuff, utilize what you have and don't spend your money on stuff you don't need, because I still got that rod. You know.
Well, you mentioned that. It's like I was looking at pre-made first aid kits a while back. Then they're expensive, $300 plus dollars, right?
Yeah.
And I told my wife about it, and she's like, "You're ridiculous." She came up and got an old first aid bag that she had stored away somewhere in the house and put all sorts of stuff, and I'm ready to go. I think it cost her, I don't know, $30 all said and done, a couple of purchases from Walmart and Amazon, and it was good to go. Just make sure you got everything. The best, what she did is, Lyle, she just went onto those sites to see what was included in them first aid kits and just copied off of them.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper to do it that, and you have spares.
Yep.
Another thing is make sure your wheel bearings are packed. If you're going to travel very far, and that your tires are good on that trailer.
Yep, 100%. Make sure you got your tools. Definitely. I got a trailer box because the lug nuts on my boat don't match the lug nuts on my truck. I got to make sure I got a lug nut wrench, and I got a collapsible one, which is pretty neat. Also, a way to jack up a trailer, because a trailer is a little harder to jack up than your automobile because it doesn't have, you know what I mean? It doesn't have the same things. We talk about having an extra set of bearings, or even a whole hub assembly ready to go. On the side of the road. You definitely want to have that with you. Yep. We've talked about all of that stuff a bunch of times.
Yep, we have, but we'll talk about it again before we're done here. I'm maybe not tonight, but another time. I'll talk about your tires and different size lug nuts.
Mm-hmm.
My boat tires, the lug nuts on the rims on the boat are 13/16. The ones that hold the spare tire on are 3/4. What the hell?
So somebody got a spare tire holder after the fact, or I think you have a tracker, right? Did you buy that new?
No.
Okay, so somebody put that spare tire holder on there after the fact, probably, and there you go.
I figured
a spare tire holder. It might be worth it for you to look up the cost of a spare tire holder if you need help shopping for one that's got the same size lug nuts, and you'd be good to go.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm good, thanks.
As long as you got the tools to get that spare off and the actual the tires off the trailer. You're
I know Josh has one, and I know several other people that have one. Being in the automotive industry my entire life, basically, everything I had was air operated. We didn't have electric impacts and stuff when I was doing this. I think an electric 1/2-inch impact. I bought one of 3/8. It just ain't. It don't get it done. I think that a man would be very wise to spend whatever $100 or whatever and buy a 1/2-inch electric impact. You talk about something to save you a lot of time when you're stuck on the side of the road. That's it. So, just
my problem with my truck is the lug nut torque on the tires for the truck is like 115 pounds, Lyle.
Yeah,
you know how hard it is to bust that off on the side of the road when it's been on there through a couple of winters of salt? Oh my goodness.
Yep, I do know that. Yep.
Make sure you got a breaker bar because you might need it.
Yeah, I got one in my truck.
Yep, I got it. I got
one in the truck.
Got one in mine too.
I don't mean to change the subject, and we'll get back to what we was talking, but something just ran across my mind. I want to bring it up. V. Smith's husband, Chris, had a heart attack, and we want everybody to keep him in thoughts and prayers. I forgot about that, and I don't know why it just popped in my head, but Chris is a really good guy, and they're doing some wonderful things, so please keep him in your thoughts and prayers.
100% we will. Yeah, I saw that on Facebook too. They didn't really say what was going on with them, but I definitely have a set of prayer for them to help them out. So
absolutely. Breaker bar and a cheater pipe, Eric first says.
Yep.
I have a 3/4 inch breaker bar that's 3 foot long or just over that, and an adapter to 1/2 inch sockets. And if you have to stand on it, you can break them loose.
Yeah, I got a 3/8 inch impact, an air one, right? And I can't get those lugs off of my truck with that thing.
Yeah, I can't either. Come on, Lite, you little bastard.
Benoit Fishing Outdoors says Dollar Tree has first aid kit. That's good to know.
Yeah, I Cindy's always been a great shopper. She always kept all that stuff in the truck for me.
Mm-hmm. Jody says Jane packs a ramp in case he gets a flat. He has dual axles, so he can put one on the good tire and up on the other one. Yep. I have a plastic tool that you can use. You kind of wedge it underneath the frame of the trailer, because I have a single axle just so I can tilt that boat into the garage. It's the reason why I got a single axle. And it works well. You kind of jam it under there and you pull forward a couple of feet and boom, it lifts that tire up. So it's pretty quick and easy to do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I keep hydraulic jacks. I got 2 of them. I got a real heavy duty one, like a 45-ton one that's short and squatty. Then I've got a one that, like 6 or 8 ton, maybe 10. That's not as big, and either one of them will work. But sometimes you got to get one of them underneath there and then put the other underneath there, because one will go high. There's just so many different scenarios, and I got wheel bearings and everything I keep with me all the time. So
now, since we're on the topic, you know what I've been meaning to get that I don't have is one of those LED flares, because I've had, how you doing, Sampy? I've had the driver's side tire blow out a couple of times, and I'm telling you, nothing will scare you more than having to change a tire on the traffic side of the road.
That's right. That's right. And it usually will be at dusk or dawn or the middle of the night or something crazy like that. Hey, Rams Bait and Tackle, San Antonio, Texas. Welcome. Glad to see you made it in tonight.
What's going on, Rams? How you doing?
Joe says she keeps 2 spares. If I have a flat, I know another tire isn't far behind. There's some truth to that. There really is.
What do they say? 1 is none, 2 is 1, right?
Yeah.
When it comes, what's going on, Lance? How you doing? So yeah, that's definitely for traveling. No, once now back to the actual trip plan. Once I found a place that I was considering staying at, on Google Maps, you can click on the actual place on the map, and you can read reviews. They got pictures. They got links to the website. So basically what I did is I clicked on the reviews. Everybody said it had good reviews. It was like 150 reviews and got like 4 stars, which is good enough for me. I looked at the pictures. I noticed that they had a marina there. So, that's another thing you can consider.
Yep.
So I clicked on the website. I went there. I got their pricing. The pricing was really, pretty darn cheap. It was like $80 a night and $8 a night for keep your boat in the marina, which isn't bad. So I gave them a call.
That's cheap.
That's real cheap for the marina fees, but that's only if you stay there. They got a campsite there. They got log cabins. They got a house you can rent, and they got a motel there too. So the $80 a night was for the motel. So you can't beat that.
No.
So definitely found that place. I gave them a call up. I found out that there is electricity in the marina for you to charge your trolling motor batteries. They got a little bait and tackle shop on premises, so I was really happy to find that. Other than that, I mean, pretty much set to go. I just got to pick the week that I'm going to go in the day. Might have a couple people that we know come with. Obviously, you're always invited, Lyle, but we'll talk about that later.
Absolutely.
We'll have a good time if we go. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to getting on a bunch of perch and maybe some walleye. So, and I've never fished the Mississippi except for the one time, at least not for like perch and walleye. So it'll be good.
Yeah.
Eric Pierce says, I drove big trucks and trucks passing while waiting on a repair truck have been rocked more times than not, even with triangles out. Yeah, be careful on the side of the road.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what you really have to watch out for. Josh, I did check my messages, but I'm not sharing that with anyone.
Why don't you answer Mason's Mason's question there, Lyle. He says, what other rigs should I use for catfish? We have been using a suspended rig to try to get it off the bottom, but haven't had much luck lately. Recently, I bought some floats and are trying them out.
I like suspending my bait up off the bottom. I just do. I have pretty good success at it. Although for 100 years, that's all you ever done was throw it out there and let it sit on the bottom. But I like floats, and I like those 2.5-inch camels that are about that big around, not them skinny ones that are about this big around. They make them about that big around. You can put a big old hunk of bait on it, and it'll pick her up off the ground. That's what I like. Hey, Dan, welcome, buddy.
Dan Thompson, welcome in, bud. Channel supporter, we appreciate you, Dan. Long time no see. Glad to see you in here.
Absolutely, Mason. Be sure to use. I recommend that you use a circle hook, and don't jerk on your rod. Just reel down on it, and your success rate will go up. I promise.
I think you should make him a care pack and send it over to him, Lyle.
Hell, I'll give him anything he wants. All he's got to do is let me know.
He's got to just let you know. That's what I'm talking about. So take him up on that, Mason. Your grandpa will give you the good stuff for sure.
I'll do what I can.
And if he don't have it, which I doubt, just give me a holler or tell him to get it from me. We'll get you set up. Don't worry. I don't know what that is. Probably having to do with the message.
No, I don't think it does. You know, Josh. Him and Jerry.
Yep.
But yeah, I like traveling and fishing. It just has got to the point where it's really not affordable anymore. Not to do it all the time, you know.
Well, that's the biggest reason for doing your research, so you can plan it out and see if you can even afford it. That being said, I'm looking at the poll that I put up there. It says, do you travel to fish in the fall? Hit the thumbs up, folks. Definitely. Yes, I love to travel, and no, but I would like to travel. It's pretty much split right down the middle. It's like 58% that say they love to travel and 44% say that they would love to. I imagine time and finances have a lot to do with that, which, going through and checking out all your options can be the difference between being able to afford a trip and not being able to afford one.
That's a fact.
100%. That's one of the biggest reasons why I did all of that research and it worked. So,
yep, you gotta get all your ducks in a row, get everything you need together. Like I say, make lists of stuff that you want to take, things that you have to have. Don't forget your meds, because hell, anymore everybody's on some kind of medicine.
Unfortunately,
yeah, plan out your time that it's going to take you to get there, and if you can, your stops and stuff. Find out where the rest areas are at. There's a lot of things that you can do to make it easier for you.
Another tip, I live close enough to the Wisconsin border that I have fishing licenses for Illinois and Wisconsin. Obviously, if I'm going to a state that I don't plan on fishing too often or I don't fish regularly, you can get like a 3-day license or a 5-day license, depending. But all that stuff adds up. So one of the things I was thinking about was, hey, I can go southern Illinois. I can go up to Wisconsin because I have them licenses. I don't have to buy an additional one, and I'm making use of the ones I've already paid for. Stuff like that, Right. Fish for a species that you have the tackle and the equipment for. Definitely.
That'll save you some money.
Save you some money if you're a do-it-yourselfer like I am. Obviously, it's great to hire a guide on unfamiliar waters, but you don't always have to. Just don't set your expectations really high, and you'll never know. You might exceed them just by doing that. You don't need to hire a guide. So maybe you ought to do that. Maybe we ought to have a show about budget fishing ideas, Lyle. I think we should do that next week. What do you think?
That's a good idea. Lance says right now I only travel 5 minutes. The brown trout and coho fight is started. That's 5 minutes, pretty good.
5 minutes is really good. My river's 25 minutes away, not even that close. So.
Buggy, you are 100% correct. That's just like some of what we was talking about earlier in the show. There's so many things they could make to cover the entire United States, but they'd have to figure out a way to divide that up to each state so get their piece of the pie, and they're never going to do that. But they could do it if they wanted to.
Good night, Mason. Have a good night, bud.
Glad to see you in here, buddy.
Lance says you got a nice brown trout yesterday. Do you eat those, Lance? Because I hear they don't taste very good. Jody says, I travel cheap. I go fish with YouTube friends and crash on their couch or spare rooms. Some of my best memories are at the dock. Cool. It's always a good thing to do. I've made a lot of cool friends out of state that I've stayed with. Jerry Hohausen, obviously the crosses, definitely fishing with Chad and Dee and stuff. That's always been a good time. Fishing with you, Lyle, going up to Mendota.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
A couple trips out to Ohio. Hopefully we'll meet and fish a couple other places. We might go out east next spring, Lyle, and fish for them big shell crackers.
I'd love to do that. You know, I like bluegills and shell crackers.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Lance says they taste better than kings in his opinion. Cool.
I'm not too familiar.
I do like king salmon. I like coho salmon a lot better, but king salmon is good too for him. I enjoy it. I know Josh doesn't like it, but Josh likes drum.
Well, yeah, that says something for that. That don't even make good bait. Hell, other fish won't even eat them nasty things.
So hopefully we'll get that done. I was going to go live today fishing, but I kind of got wrapped up in fishing and finding the fish. And once I got on them, I was kind of too busy to set up all the cameras and stuff. So I apologize, folks who were expecting something. But maybe next time. Well, it won't be the last time this year I'll go out to Lake Geneva and fish out there. I had a good time. So maybe we can get on some of them big. They got big walleyes. They got lake trout in there too, Lyle, because it's 150 feet deep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us tonight, Eric. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric. Have a good one. Nice seeing you, bud.
Lance, can you make homemade peach cobbler?
I think she's going to call him out for a 1v1 peach cobbler competition, Lyle.
I think she's going to ask him for a recipe.
I was going to say you can have Jody send you a sample and you can judge it.
I like judging food contests. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Josh has got a good point here. It says, Bugman, careful, buddy. They'll make a national license and every state will still require a state license.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
You fish on the bottom for shell cracker? You fish for them like any panfish, I believe. So
yeah. I love jigs and them itty bitty plastics, hand ties, real small ones. I like fishing jigs underneath a bobber for them. Tip them with a little piece of night crawler or a red worm. Oh.
That could have been the key today. It's just that you had that you downsized so small to those 1-inch gulps, which are pretty tiny baits. They're a little longer than be used to, but they are still considered pretty small. Here's Brian says, what a seniors fishing club, and no, we're not going to say that.
Jody says, can you teach me? There it is.
Jody, canned peaches and some Bisquick on top and you're done. Plain and simple. It ain't that hard. Just don't boil it.
Oh, he's going to send her a recipe. There you go.
Look at that. Let's see what Bugman says. He says, I know Dad used to use a Drife worm, small hook, one split shot, and work it on the bottom. Well, any panfish the only problem with fishing for any panfish, I don't care what anybody says on the bottom, is you gut hook a lot of fish.
You do. You do.
So keep that in mind.
Jody says Lance can cook.
I'm quiet because I'm thinking about timing Brian out.
Really?
Yeah. Senior comment. I'm always nice to him. Josh says strawberry pie filling, then put a cheap cake mix on top and a stick of butter, bake until you have a cobbler. Josh is 100% correct.
Butter is it makes everything better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of like
it
bacon.
Does. I wonder if butter would make bacon better.
I don't know. The two of them together ought to be friggin' awesome, man.
I imagine some buttered biscuits with some bacon. Oh my goodness! Now I'm getting hungry.
You know what? I need to learn how to do one of these days, and I've asked for it repeatedly, and nobody'd ever show me. Is sausage gravy and biscuits. I love that a lot, and I've never made gravy. So
it's pretty simple. Just flour and some cream, Lyle. That's all you need.
Yeah, well, never done it.
Chrissy says, I make my cobbler from homemade. Forget that box cake.
There you go, Chrissy. Them's a good guy.
Jody says, Creole tried to teach me a dump cake before I got dumped right after it got dumped right in the garbage can when she was done with it.
Butter is natural. Margarine is one molecule away from being plastic.
Plastic, yeah. Remember how you said diesel is a byproduct of making gasoline? I think margarine's right after diesel, Lyle.
It could be. It could
Yeah,
be.
I think so.
Oh, that sounds good, Josh.
Josh says, I almost shot me a few gray squirrels tonight and was going to make me fried squirrel and gravy. I've never tried that. I'd like to.
Oh, it's good.
Brian says, I want to make a peach cobbler with Krispy Kreme donuts. Seen it on a reel. Looks delicious.
Oh, man.
Don't get me started on those cooking reels. Some of that stuff's ridiculous.
Cool beans there, Boogie. I haven't seen Lee in a while. He's a good dude. I used to see him every once in a while at tournaments and different things. And haven't seen him quite a while. They are good, Josh. They really are. I'd rather have rabbits myself, but I dearly love eating rabbits. They're really good.
Craig Burgess says, Mark, my problem is the best fishing weather is coming up, and between the doctors and deer season, going to be hard to fish. You got to make time for that, Greg, if you can. But yeah, I understand about the deer season. I'd like to try it for deer hunting. I've been kind of looking into it, but that's another story. My mom used to make gravy with a can of cream.
That might be all right.
Condensed milk, maybe. Is that the same thing? I don't know. I saw that real Brian B. I would try it. Might be the only cobbler that wouldn't be homemade. Now let's talk about Krispy Kreme donuts. I saw a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts at Walmart for $16.50 the other day. I think I'm going to stick with your method, Chrissy.
Yeah, I think so too. Do they still have the Krispy Kreme stores open around?
We used to have a ton of them over here, and they closed every single one up.
I didn't know whether they were still open or not. They moved into Springfield, and I mean, they was everywhere. They had 6 of them, I think, in Springfield, and then all of a sudden, they all closed up, and I don't know if they're still doing that or not.
Chrissy says, now that we are talking, rabbit is good. A squirrel is a rat with a bushy tail. She just can't do it. And Chrissy makes her gravy with creamer. That is not true, Krispy Kreme, just so you know. Who knows? It says Krispy Kreme on the box. That's all I know. Overpriced and overrated, I agree.
They are.
Brian says, I have one 15 to 20 minutes away. The light is always on. That explains your waist size, Brian.
They are good.
The original Krispy Kreme is in Chillicothe, Ohio.
There's a place in Springfield that I thought had really, really good donuts. I can't think of the name of it right off the bat, but it's an old place, been there a long time. They had really good ones.
Well, Al, we made it to an hour. So what else you got to say, bud?
Go fishing. Man,
Yeah.
this is prime time right now. Just because I didn't have a great day today doesn't mean that you won't next time out. But fall is the prime time for me to fish. I just love fall. The bite's usually good. The water's starting to cool off, and the bait fish are moving up, and that means that the other fish will follow them up in the shallow, and then they'll head back out deep. But right now is a great time to go catch some fish.
Joe Buck, thank you very much for coming in.
Appreciate it,
get
buddy.
out. You know, even if you don't plan on travel, there's no reason why you can't snoop around. You might find something that you can do that's not real far to home. You may find that hidden gem. You may find that hotel or motel that you can actually afford on the water or near the water.
Yep.
There's no reason why you shouldn't at least kind of look into it if you're interested to it. You'd be surprised. Right. Worst comes to worst, you can always make plans for next year and keep all the change you find in your couch and save up for it too. You know, you only live once. You might as well have an adventure.
Let's look at this. Whoop. Go out and fish, people. Says the man who rarely ever goes.
I was waiting for that.
Love you, Brian. Oh, man. Yeah, it was a fun show tonight. We always have a good time, or you and I do. I hope everybody that watches has a good time. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do so before you exit out. We really appreciate it. It helps us a little bit and get more people interested in watching. Like I say, this is a great time of the year to be fishing. So if you get a chance, get out and get it.
I'm not going to say it. Everybody, to Brian, everybody have a good day. Have a great weekend. Oh, one more thing. Make sure you keep catch fish with us, Chris, in your prayers, because he's
a great guy.
I forget I'd be a bad son if I didn't say this. My mom's birthday's today. Happy birthday, Mom. She watches sometimes. So 78 years old. God bless her, and hopefully he'll keep her healthy for a long time. Other than that, that's all I got.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Later, everybody. Bye-bye.